And yes, this is where you'll be able to get the Soaktron rifle skin. So Nakak will be offering a new reward.
I usually pronounce that Nakak, but that's cool. You can have your own
I
pronunciation.
said Nakak. Did I not?
What do you call that? A soft A or a hard A? I don't know.
Nakak, 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 Kok, 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 Kok.
Oh boy, got a new Devstream to cover. We'll see about this one. Like like going in, I was unsure if there was gonna be all that much new stuff. Since just like, hey, people have been pointing out that like, oh damn, there hasn't been any Devstream this month, so they've already dropped them from being like bi-monthly to just once per month, and now it looked like we weren't gonna have one in May. But hey, whoa, they announced one. They announced one in the to go off in the last day of May. I kind of figured they just wanted to get one out. They've also announced that this is going to be the last dev stream before TennoCon. So there's not going to be a dev stream in June. So next time we're going to see them on stream is going to be like just, for TennoCon in July. So with that in mind, they're actually, there's some stuff here. They covered some new stuff that's going to be upcoming, and we got to see Yareli in action. And there's quite, I kind of want to talk about that because there's some interesting stuff to talk about, and I think people are going to dig her. So we'll see. But there's a bunch of other stuff as well about just Sisters of Parvos and all the new weapons and all of that jazz. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Let's just dive right in.
Sisters of Parvos update is our next major update coming for Warframe. Sisters of Parvos is going to have all this, which is the sort of the big list of things coming in this update, which include Yareli. Sisters of Parvos is the new gameplay system, new Voidstorm rewards, Kuva Lich improvements, Kuva weapons, Ember Deluxe number 2, Steel Path, reward additions, Syndicate armor and emotes, rank 10 command, which we didn't tell you what that was, but we will this stream, and much more. So today is going to be...
Did we leak the logo for the rank 10 anyway?
Did we? Yeah, we did. We did.
So we kind of told them.
Yeah, okay, we can just start with that then. For the command intrinsic, it always kicks off with Ticker. Ticker's where you go to hire your crew, or you can use your converted liches. Rank 10 is going to give you elite crewmates. So what this means is stronger crewmates become available for recruitment from Ticker. And what makes these crewmates stronger comes down to the stats, and they have traits. So a trait could be something like based on their best skills. So between gunnery, piloting, engineering, repair, and survivability, they're going to have a trait associated with the best of those. And it's going to be something that you'll want to check back if you want different traits. But for an example, the gunnery, your elite crew could have a chance to have 50% more damage with Levan weapons, 50% more damage with Vidar weapons, or 50% more chance with Zetki weapons. So you're going to want to look for the traits that kind of go with your particular Railjack loadout. If you prefer the Zetki weapons, you'll want an elite crew with that trait. And then, depending on which stat is the highest, things like survivability, you'll be able to get a crew member with the trait of killing an enemy heals all nearby allies by 500, or when taking near lethal damage, it activates a protective shield. So the survivability will increase dramatically with this shield that will go up for this particular trait. So you'll be able to get crew that are more either durable or better gunners, depending again on the trait that Ticker has for you at a given time.
All right, so I guess the leaks were correct. That was leaked out a couple of days ago that was going to be the rank 10 intrinsic, or rank 10 command intrinsic, and like when people saw that like this is what they were planning, man, I was reading the subreddit and people were not happy about this at all. And I kind of understand why, because partly, hey, they've been hyping it up for so long. It's like, what is it gonna be? Was rank 10? We're big plans for it. And this kind of feel like they didn't really have that much of any plan for it, to be honest. Or whatever the plan was scrapped, and we got this instead, probably. And this kind of feels bad in many ways, because a lot of people have already been like investing in crewmates and, you know, going checking ticker and checking every day, finding crewmates with cool names and cool stats and decking them out and all that. And like pretty much everything is just going to become obsolete now. Like you can just scrap your previous crew, because now you're going to get the rank 10 command intrinsic, and then you're just going to get better crewmates, and all your previous old crewmates, they can just, you know, go to hell. You can just throw them all out. All of that work you put into your crew, that was for nothing. Goodbye, get a new crew. So I see how people were kind of miffed about this, and they were like, this doesn't feel rewarding. This kind of feel bad in a way. So I don't know. I don't think it's a smart idea. I don't think it was a good idea to go down this route. But hey, we're gonna get them, I guess. You're gonna get your even better crewmates now with bigger numbers on them. It's gonna be crewmates with bigger numbers on them. So that's gonna feel very meaningful. Nah, I'm a bit too cynical here. But no, I don't like this one. I think this was a miss. This is not impressive. Yeah, they're gonna have some abilities and skills on them, but, you know, nah, who cares? Nah, I don't like it. Let's move on.
We're going to talk about clans. As far as clans go in Warframe, we've had, since the rise of the Warlord update, which I believe was update 8, we added clans to the game. And clans have had their own chat channel, and over time, the dojo got more robust. We used to do a lot of clan events, and clans have essentially never been able to recruit in game other than in recruiting chat. So you go to recruiting chat, you'll post like, join the Elite Guardians clan, we're a top ranked clan, and if that message goes by, someone may never get a chance to join in clan. The great thing about recruiting chat is you're online, so you can invite people that are interested. But we are going to be going a bit further with clan recruitment in game. So we're going to just elevate the system a little bit to have clans that are interested in recruiting have a dedicated system and space to do so. So what this looks like is the following. The first thing you'll notice is that Maru, in her somewhat damaged relay, is interested in getting some resources from the Tenno in exchange for using her clan ad board. So what this will look like is, this is all just placeholder stuff. This is just to show y'all. Why do I keep saying y'all this stream? Never again.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know. It's over for me. I'm never doing that again. Yeah. So this is going to be a way for you to secure a spot to advertise your clan. So this would be the starting screen, and it can Maru can tell you a little bit about what she's doing, and then you'll be able to edit your clan advertisement, which will, of course, will have a cool Warframe name. This is just for proof of concept and everything, what the system's going to be built on. You know, you can say your clan is in it for the meme runs or whatever you want. Maybe your clan only wants people that like anime, whatever, or you just Excalibur players only. You have to be Excalibur to join this clan. Whatever it is, you'll be able to do some toggles to highlight your clan's, you know, interests. Perhaps it is endurance runs or it's dojo decorating. And then players who are looking for a clan at the search clan level will be able to see what clans are available for them. So if they're looking for clan-tastic, because they have low mastery rank requirement, beginner friendly, they're in the mountain clan tier, wherever it may be, they'll be able to start looking for clans to join. So this is something that, again, is going to be based upon Maru. There will be a resource cost associated with posting your Maru clan recruitment. And yeah, it'll come down to clans that are really active, looking to grow, and players will be given the option to join these clans, the ones that are there with their spot on the ad board, which will have a limited amount of ad boards because we can't explode our database with every clan in the game wanting to post. But there will be a system. You'll be able to repost your ad, and it'll be down to how committed your clan is to advertising to get a spot.
Clan update is very cool. I like this. I pretty much run a solo clan because I never bothered to actually sort of like just, you know, recruit anyone for it. So it's got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 members or whatnot, and it's really like just not, there's not a whole lot going on in my dojo. So I don't know. I feel like if you're one of the old clans, you're just sort of entrenched in the system and have hundreds of members and already, or thousands, then this doesn't affect you all that much because there's already like an infrastructure for recruitment in that clan. But for like people like me, people who are just sort of starting out with clan building and have like small clans and stuff, and just getting some new members that way, this could be a pretty valuable tool. I kind of dig it, and it's just anything that sort of like increases the co-op function of the game and just makes more people play together is good. I like it. I like it. This is a good update. This is good new functionality. Well done, DE. This is good. It's good.
What happened to Modular Archwing?
What happened to Modular Archwing? It is pretty far along in development. I think it's more finding the time and the right spot to finish it up.
Gotcha. So not Sisters
Not
of Parvos.
gone.
It's not gone.
And I don't think it's not Sisters of Parvos, no.
This is a matter of making a priority. Sevek7 asks if there's any progress on ranged versus melee balancing, and that actually took priority over the Modular Archwing.
Yes.
So that's actually why the Modular Archwing stuff is not ready, because Sisters of Parvos were aiming to do some of that balancing, and I actually have a little image here to kind of maybe recap for people. Graphics. So 2 dev streams ago, a really hot topic was, melee is just the way to play Steel Path specifically, which is where the divide between your guns and your melee is most obvious. Through the core star chart, you can kind of get away with much more diverse gameplay between guns and melee, but that's not the case in Steel Path. So what's coming in Sisters of Parvos, if this changes, we'll let you know, is so that's why it says tentative, but we are looking to do the melee and gun review. This means that you'll want to know all the details, so of course we will be working on a dev workshop and video, which we are planning for June 16th. This slide is essentially a recap of what we talked about in the prior dev stream, where we did say that there would be a small amount of nerfs, but then a lot of power increase, and we want to make clear that the power increase is going to come for guns via mods and new upgrades. We're not going to go through every primary weapon and secondary weapon in the game and change their base stats, because they're actually quite powerful. It's just the mods aren't as good as melee mods. So you don't have things like Blood Rush for primary. You don't have things like Berserker. In fact, I don't even think there is a sacrificial mod for primary weapons. I might be having a total brain fart here, but the modding is quite different, which is why one of the reasons why melee scales so well. So what you can expect is a handful of nerfs and a power increase for guns and mods via mods and new upgrades. So we are taking a good look at this because, you can demonstrate the power of melee in any number of ways, whether you're filming yourself just spamming E or otherwise. We do want to make sure that guns are getting more use. And it's really in the framework of Steel Path, because that's where the divide is most dramatic. That's where you are. Yeah. So the Steel Path is going to be our litmus
I think
test.
the plan is to make it so you have to earn some of these through Steel Path too, as well, right?
Yes, yeah. So the Steel Path is going to be where we want you to be able to use your guns more and effectively give you your guns a new lease on life when you're playing content of that level. So that's where we're headed with this. So this is sort of your guidebook for all things balance that we're going to take a stab at for the Sisters of Parvos update.
So this is a bit interesting because this sort of tells us that they want Sisters of Parvos to come out before TennoCon. It feels like Sisters of Parvos is going to drop sometime in June, and then we're going to be playing around with it for a month or so before TennoCon drops. I feel like that's the plan. Which means that TennoCon is going to be about something else. The big reveals there is not going to be about Sisters of Parvos and stuff. And I know throughout the dev stream and previous dev streams, Steve has been talking a lot about, the new war. So I feel like that's the actual project that's brewing in the background that they don't want to talk about yet, but that's what's actually going on behind the scenes. So, Sisters of Parvos is gonna... I feel like that's gonna come first. But I like that they're doing... that they haven't dropped the rebalancing that they talked about before. Everyone knows at this point that end game in Warframe, or the hardest difficulties and just the most skill testing stuff, you use melee weapons. Basically, for most of it. Unless you're like me and come up with these wacky helmet combinations that can just push through a bunch of other stuff that way. But if you're just looking at using your weapons rather than Warframe abilities, then everyone knows that melee weapons are way stronger than primary weapons and secondary weapons. And I actually sort of disagree with the assessment that they say that like this is more apparent than anything else in Steel Path. No, I'm gonna say it's not. I'm gonna say it's apparent from day one. When you start a new account and you just start playing Warframe for the first time ever, everyone notices immediately how much more powerful melee is than using your guns. So like even just for a person who's just put, I don't know, is still within their 5 first hours of the game, they're gonna be gravitating toward melee because it's so much stronger. So in that regard, the idea that like they're not going to change the base stats on everything, they're going to change it through mods instead. I mean, I'm happy that they're going to change it, and I'm sure it's going to work. They are correct in the whole idea that like there are melee mods that are insane, that are stupid, that have no equivalent in primary weapons. Primaries do not have something that works the same way like Blood Rush or Weeping Wounds does. They can't scale their damage the same way that melee weapons can. I agree. So getting mods for primary weapons that can sort of do that is obviously going to level the playing field. That being said, I feel like just melee weapons are overtuned in general, the way it is. So it's not just about the mods, it's the stats as well. But this is going to work. This is going to make things better. I kind of like doing it with a mod so that you can mix and match and stuff. It could break the monotony we have right now with how you mod things, where like everything is basically modded the same. If they introduce some new mods with varying functionality that can like take weapons in different directions. So we'll see. It would be interesting to see a meta where like melee weapons can be built either like heavy attack or primary attack, or like heavy attack or normal attack, basically. So it's a combo build or heavy attack build. Would be interesting if for like, I don't know, for guns that you have like different builds for if you use the primary or the secondary fire primarily or whatever. Like you can do some cool stuff if you design it good, which we're hoping for. We're hoping that they're gonna design it good. And also, hey, yeah. Modular Archwings, it's not dropped, it's on the back burner, but it's still want to do it. Like, I know that Scott wants to remove the normal Archwing nodes, that he just doesn't like them, so it's just, I feel like it's a bigger project, and right now they are working on stuff behind the scenes for TennoCon, mostly new war related, so all of that other jazz with the Ghoul Saw and the modular Archwings and you know, Plague Star returning or whatever, all of it's on the back burner just so that they can focus on TennoCon instead, with the exception of the Sisters of Parvos. All right, but hey, how about Yareli? Let's go check out Yareli, shall we?
Event Kids. They are our trusty little scrappy orphans of Fortuna. They have their Vent Kids clubhouse. So we have more coming in. So it's not, of course, so beyond the Sisters of Parvos list you saw, we also have Wave Rider #1, which Steve last Devstream you said, I don't want to call it a quest, so I called it a mini quest. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit about Wave Rider #1 and the digital comic?
It's just a really beautiful sort of in-game comic about I suppose it would be Yareli's kind of like the patron saint of Vent Kids. I'm not sure if I already mentioned that last dev stream, but this is kind of a bit of their mythology amongst them, and kind of inspired them to build K drives and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, there's just it's a small but I think it's very compelling little story, and as you advance in that story, you unlock this beautiful comic that our artists at DE have made, and yeah, from what I've seen, I'm really proud of it, and it looks really amazing, and yeah, you got to do some Vent Kids stuff to kind of advance the story and unlock Yareli, and that's I think that's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil any more of it.
Before we get to Yareli, we're going to take a look at her signature sidearm. I'll take a look from a full concept art start to finish in terms of the concept and then all the way to the 3D model, because there's a lot of cool work that went into this. And I think the most interesting thing about her as a character and the choice for her signature secondary is bubble gun. Like a water gun was like the theme. Really, really cute. You have the cartridge that'll be part of the team always knocks reload animations out of the park. So yeah, I think we should just take a look at Yareli now that you can see her beautiful secondary. She will be using it a lot, and there's a reason why. Can anyone guess why a secondary would be so important to Yareli?
Wave riding.
K-Drive! Oh, we have some very smart Tenno. Okay, great. Okay, so let's take a look at... We're going to take a look at some of Yareli's idle animations first, and then we'll hop in game, just because I think
These are always so fun.
Yeah, we want to introduce you to Yareli, so I've taken a few looping videos here of her in game. So why don't we kick things off with Yareli?
Cool.
All right, here she is,
Oh, you put her on the beach.
and this is you know, her being the cutest Warframe ever. We have a lot of her idols are just brimming with, I think Pablo was very clear on the kawaii aspects of Yareli, so.
I hadn't seen that yet. That
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
that
you didn't
is-
see this one?
I didn't see that one yet. That's so good.
Sung
That's so
put a lot
funny.
of Sung did all these animations, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That one animator worked on this because
That's
she's
cool.
so animation heavy. But
Yeah.
he was prototyping it with like having hearts come out in the idols.
So what's really great about
yeah.
Yareli is the amount of, you know, she has her own frills, her skirts. There's like a satin-esque appearance on her upper arm frills and her hood. She's super, super cute. And she's super powerful and fun to play. And I think a lot of Tenno will pick up her kit right away and be a master of Yareli in no time. So do I actually not want me to continue with customizing?
No, you should keep going. Yeah, randomize a couple more.
Incredible. The gradient details got added in today, and they look
Yep.
absolutely beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah.
I think this looks awesome. She looks like a I don't even know. I love it. All right. So when it comes to Yareli, a key part of her ability, I'm actually going to start right with Merlina. This is the second ability that summons none other than Yareli's signature creature that allows. Oops, I just said that. Don't watch, Pablo. Don't watch. But this is her signature form of locomotion. Merlina will be health-based, so you can probably see in the bottom. Oh, maybe you won't be able to see it if we're covering it. But Merlina is the second ability, and it will be one that serves to redirect some of the damage you take to Merlina itself. So you'll be doing a little bit of damage reduction when you're on your signature locomotion, your signature K-Drive. And Yareli is very fast when she does it. And if you have a keen eye, Tenno, you'll notice that as I'm moving, Yareli's passive activates. And that's because her passive is on the condition of movement, your secondary gets increased critical. So as long as you're moving around, staying mobile, you will find yourself dealing more critical.
The board also is work in progress. It'll have more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the dynamics aren't hooked up yet, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mesh just went in today, so
Yeah. So you'll be
it'll
zooming.
be like like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is it like?
You want me to do that again?
One more time, please. All right. So with Warframes, you know, mobility is key. So when you're on Merlina, you'll find that casting the rest of your abilities is something that happens more streamlined because you can be moving around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop on Merlina, and we're going to start right away with Sea Snares, which is Yareli's ability to guide some globules that will CC and deal damage over time to enemies. So it'll ensnare and deal damage over time. So it's good for CC and damage. She also has a very fun ability in the Aqua Blades. Aqua Blades will deal extremely gory damage to any enemies that get caught in their wake. So you'll be wanting to stay mobile, go around enemies.
Sharp water.
Sharp water. Aqua Blades is no joke. You'll be moving from enemy to enemy, blending enemies. Will it blend? If that's your question on your mind today, the answer is yes.
I hit
And
my
then-
toe one time with like a power washer, and it really did hurt. So I believe this.
Your toe blends.
This is realistic.
All And your sea snares are always on the lookout for enemies, so you can be running around. Sea snare, aqua blades. You got Merlina out to give you the mobility you need.
I see sea snares by the seashore. Can we do like a little tongue twister for it?
I think we could. We could do that. And then, of course, her ultimate in the form of Cyclone Strike. This is going to be one that gathers enemies in the Cyclone Strike and just gives them a little bit of a painful departure. So Cyclone Strike is a fast-casting AoE that grabs enemies up in the Cyclone. And then you can pick them off with your secondary if you have the aim to do so. You can grab them in your Sea Snare. It's going to collect enemies at a point and launch them up. So you'll be fluid, motion, movement. Yareli really never stays still, and all your abilities harness the power of water.
It's refreshing.
It is refreshing. So if your enemies look thirsty, then you can give them a drop to drink, Tenno.
So there's a lot to unpack here. I called it, man. I called it. They're going with the anime kawaii magical girl aesthetic, which is, hey man, there are some people out there who are gonna be really into this, like really into this. If you like them anime girls, we got you a Warframe right now. But like her actual skill set, I like. Okay, people had predicted it when they saw the water surfboard or whatever. It was like, okay, got it, K-Drive. She's gonna be able to use a K-Drive in normal missions. And I guess we'll find out, like, just how well that's gonna work. If that's gonna be, like, just viable or not. Because here it's like just, okay, so she gets a buff to crits when she's on the board and moving around on the board, but it works like a K-Drive, which means she can only use a secondary weapon and not a primary. Okay. Okay. We'll find out if it's good or not, but that's going to be her gameplay. She's going to be on the surfboard and move around, and it's going to be swishy, swoop, back and forward, and it's going to be janky to control. And it's like, some people are going to dig it, some people aren't. That's basically everything about her. It's like, just I think she's going to be a bit divisive in that regard, both in design and aesthetics and in terms of gameplay. And then for me, obviously, when I look at new Warframes, I always ask about, like, what's the Helminth ability? Which one is she going to donate to the Helminth system? Is it going to be any good? It's never the ult. It's never the ultimate, so we know that it's not going to be your number 4 ability. Could it be the surfboard? I don't know. Reb said that, like, here's the surfboard, and when Yareli's on it, she moves really fast. Does that mean that you can Helminth this? I don't know. Probably not. It feels like too much of a signature ability to put that in the helmet. So it's probably going to be the number 1 or the number 3. We don't know enough about them yet to determine if they're going to be good or not. Don't know what the damage numbers are for the number 1, or like how long enemies are CC'd. It could be a good crowd control tool, maybe. Enemies get lifted. It looked a bit like when they get lifted by, like, the Vauban's Bastille. We'll see. And the number 3 ability, the slashy slash around you with the sharp water and all of that. We don't know about, like, what's the damage type. Is it gonna be slash damage? It looks like it. So whenever there's, like, slash damage and slash procs, you can probably do some stuff with that. So if that's the Helminth ability, I'm sure I could figure out some fun stuff to do with that too. So it's an interesting Warframe. It's like the number 1 and the number 3 and the number 4 all seem to be sort of crowd control-y effects. And then you got the surfboard. How does all of these things interact with each other? I don't know. But maybe they don't always have to. Maybe they don't always have to be like this perfect sort of synergy of abilities that like all have a sort of function to build a greater whole, like, just, like you do with Lavos or Nidus or something like that. Maybe sometimes you can just slap some cool stuff together and it's going to be sort of straightforward and sort of easy to use and easy to get your head around. There's a value in that too. Like, there's a value in having Warframes that are that are, you know, they're easy to control, that are just sort of like manageable in that regard. Especially if you want it to be new player friendly. There's a reason why most new players gravitate toward Rhino. It's because he's not that complicated. It's pretty easy to understand what you're supposed to be doing when you're playing Rhino. So they could be going for a similar thing with Yareli as well, as a way of pulling in the new players, because it is a new aesthetic. It is a new direction for Warframe aesthetics. The anime magical girl. She could actually work in pulling in new players that haven't tried Warframe before. So it might be intentional that they are designing her to be fairly straightforward, with an ability kit that just seems fun and cool and rad, and maybe not overpowered or anything like that, but just, you know, sort of easy to play, and fun with the surfboard and all of that. So she has potential. So, and it seems like you're gonna get her by doing Vent Kid stuff. So hey man, if you haven't done your K-Drive racing and gotten all of that Vent Kids standing, might just be that, right? It might just be that you buy her from the Vent Kid store with Vent Kid standing, her parts and stuff. That is not impossible. I'm gonna call it, okay? There's gonna be like a mini quest for the actual blueprint, but then you're gonna buy like her component parts with Vent Kid standing. I'm telling you, if you wanna play it safe, you go out now and you start farming up that Vent Kid standing right now, because you're probably gonna need it when she drops. Anywho, let's check out some new weapons.
The Sisters of Parvos, we are going to be updating the Kuva Liches as well, including, and this is the first look at the Kuva Heck. So if you are, this is really for Megan, the Heck lover, but we have the Kuva Heck coming, and then of course the Kuva Grappler is coming, as well as the Kuva Czar. So these are the three weapons. We have a first look at the Kuva Heck today.
Or the Grenier, yeah, like expanding their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool.
So people already know about the briefcase series of weapons, including the briefcase launcher. We do also have the Archiplasmor coming. This is a sister's version of, so it'll be, I think are they called the Parvos or the Granum Archiplasmor? I forget what the prefix is. Then we have the Flex Rifle, which is coming as well. So this is, I think this was the first beam weapon we ever released. I'm pretty sure when we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is coming as well. And then the Tetra is coming, which is, with some crazy modding, you can make this weapon very, very fun. And the beams can be going all over the place for the little projectiles on them. So that's coming for... And then we also have a couple other weapons that aren't related to the Sisters of Parvo system directly, but they will be coming in the update as well. One of them is this sniper, which we can't show more of today, but it is coming as well. We have briefcase akimbo pistols. That's
hilarious.
Yeah, we'll save those ones for release.
Oh,
but
okay.
there are akimbo briefcase pistols coming, which are hilarious. The Cycron is getting a Sisters of Parvos version, as is the Detron, and as is a wholly new weapon is coming as well, the Igniter pistol, which will have a real name on release. So you can't really see these with this idle animation, but rest assured they're there. So I'm gonna head over to visit Ergoglast in the relay. Now, Ergoglast, as you may or may not know, is the syndicate leader for Perrin Sequence, and he, you know...
The wait is over, Tenno.
Barrow's here,
Barrow
only on
Keats
Dev.
here
Sorry,
has
Tenno.
arrived.
All right. So Ergoglast will be offering some new melee weapons for Tenno. He would be willing to part with these in exchange for some rewards you can bring him from Railjack. So once we launch Sisters of Parvos, you'll be able to earn these new melee weapons from Ergoglast using this new vendor. Well, he's not a new vendor, but he's going to be selling new things as a vendor. So you'll be able to get the sword and board, the big sword slash, the briefcase scythe, and the briefcase two-handed Nakana. So these will be here for you on launch, and we'll have the patch notes telling you exactly how you can start adding these to your collection, what's special about them, and how you'll be able to, with your mastery of Railjack, all things here can be yours. Placeholder stuff, so don't get too attached to anything, especially the names. PHBE briefcase 2H.
I'm screenshotting all the stats.
Get each stat. But yeah, you'll be able to grab these.
So that's kind of interesting that like a lot of these new weapons that they're designing do not seem to be like stuff you get from the new Corpus Liches, the Sisters of Parvos. Like you saw from Ergo Glast's store that there were like 4 different weapons you could buy, but then there was a rotation. So like you go there like every day to check like which weapons is he selling today. And so that's gotta be like more than 4, right? And then some of them obviously are gonna be like from the Sisters of Parvos that you just kill your Corpus Lich, get their weapon. They show the stats for the Archiplasmor the way it looks right now. It's kind of interesting. We can tell a little bit. It had like same crit chance, higher status chance, higher base damage, slightly lower fire rate, slightly longer reload speed, but like almost double the maximum range. So it's like an Archiplasmor that you can like fire at like twice the range. So obviously it's the same as the Kuva weapons. They're just way better than the normal counterparts. I don't think a lot of people use the Archiplasmor today, but it was part of the meta for a while. So a new beefed up version is definitely gonna take some people back. And briefcase guns are just rad, man. I grew up watching Desperado, and like if you just give me just briefcase that just pops out into like pistols and stuff, yeah, that's super cool. I hope they're good. They're probably gonna be good. They probably want people to use these. So this is exciting. There's a lot of exciting stuff here. So let's look a bit more at the Liches and some other stuff you can get from them, shall we?
We are going to be launching with some new Sisters of Parvos Ephemeras. So here you can see Ember's second Deluxe in the very fashionable new Ephemera. So they're going to have, basically the Sisters are going to have like 2 aesthetics of Ephemera. There's going to be these rotating metallic ones, and then the ones with the energy, which I'll show you in just a second here. So this is coming with Sisters of Parvos as well. And this one is a bit more orb circular, but it has all the scanning energy for my girl Ember. So this is actually my Sister of Parvos right here. This is her. She has the more dress-like energy ephemera on, and the Hound has a different one on. I think there's actually a few stacking there, so just disregard that.
Yeah,
but as you
I was gonna say, it's a bit noisy there.
Yeah, ignore that. But as you can see, she is kind of the boss, and she doesn't like me very much. So when it comes to the Lich system, you know, Kuva larvalings come from Grineer missions. When it comes to Sisters of Parvos progenitors, we are going back to the Granum Void. All players who use the Zenith Granum Crown to enter the Granum Void will start the process of getting a Corpus Sisters of Parvos progenitor. We've gone a few ways on this, and generally what's going to happen is you're going to go into the Granum Void, you're going to play it. If you are a solo player, you don't need to worry about specific loadouts like the Zorus, because we are going to give you the progenitor on any tier of completion. So for example, you can see me going in here alone with Ember. So as you can see, I got my first tier of reward. I used my Zenith Crown, and now I'm going to complete the mission as you normally would. This is just a Corpus Exterminate mission. I believe it's Acheron on Pluto. And Parvos has shown up. Parvos has some stuff to say, so let's take a listen.
Some coward, some fight. Which are
At this time,
you?
he has spawned a candidate to be a sister, we'll say. I can see that the Archiplasmor awaits me. This current animation, this is final, but there is just a bit of a dev whip here. This is the larvaling animation you probably recognize.
You are my sister. It will not dare do so again.
Your Sister of Parvos will be there as your threat, and in order to take her down, you're going to need to learn the Requiems for your given Sister of Parvos. So, in this regard, we have, instead of the Thralls with the, Grineer units, The hounds themselves are going to be the way that you earn your requiems for your Sister of Parvos. The hounds are much tougher. I think we predict that the magnetic damage meta is upon us when it comes to fighting these hounds. So
Yeah.
magnetic damage is very powerful against their extremely dense shields. And each hound, you're going to be basically seeing less hounds worth more murmur. So they're much tougher than their Grineer Thrall counterparts, but they're worth a lot more. So they're also much more mobile, and they're like a little, almost like a little mini boss fight in your normal invasion nodes that you're doing to track down your Lich. And as you can see, Ember here is ready for a secret mercy. So this poor robo dog, Jeff.
Oh.
How could you, Jeff? Once you have unlocked the code, your Requiem pattern is known, which shouldn't take as long as it does now on the live build. We are reducing that time because once you figure it out, your Lich will flee to their designated Proxima region. So what that will look like is you'll see at the right here in my Railjack tab up here on the screen, there is a pulsating Lich node because my Lich has, or my sister has fled. So in this case, it's on, the showdown is ready. I can go do my Corpus showdown, and any other player that's at that state will matchmake together. It's that region for Neptune for the Corpus, and it'll be Saturn for the Kuva Liches, and they'll be waiting for you. So if me, Steve, Scott, and Jeff all are ready to take down our respective sisters, we'll all go into a mission together, and we'll be facing off against them in a ship, taking out each one by one. So it'll be, you'll want to prep for it. There's going to be a couple, bosses one by one to go through. The sister herself is going to be waiting there, so you'll want to make sure you're ready to take them down as a squad, solo, whatever you prefer. But they'll be waiting there.
Your hound, of course, loyally by your side.
So I kind of like that they found a way to sort of bring the Granum Void back. I know some people don't like it or whatnot, but I think it's fine. Hey, I made a guide for how to just do it with the Azorius, people. If you're struggling to farm for Protea because you think the Granum Void is hard to get all the kills in time, no, just use the Azorius. It's designed around the Azorius. Just use the Azorius and just throw and explode, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. These guides out there that are telling you to like use a mace or whatever, no. Just use the Azorius. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So, but yeah, here, this is how you spawn a Corpus Lich. You go into the Granum Void by using a Zenith Crown, and that's gonna spawn a Corpus Larvling. So you can choose if you want to spawn a Larvling or not in these Corpus missions. Okay. And they're changing the final encounter, and it sounds like that's going to be changed for the Kuva Liches as well. Where they're going to do what we saw before in the streams, where like you have to go to the Galleon and actually hunt them down in their base once you have the code. So that's probably going to be the case for both Kuva Liches in the future and for the Sisters of Parvos, so that hunt is going to be a bit different. And when it came to like the doggos, she did do a stab on camera, and it looked like one doggo stab gave you like a 5th or a 6th, something like that, of like just unlocking one of the Requiem mods. So that's probably a bit not too tough. They said that they're tuning it down because murmur farming and just uncracking the code is the thing that people like the least about Lich hunting because it just takes so long. Probably for me, I kind of dislike just the Requiem Fisher missions and just farming for Requiem mods. But hey, to each their own. But man, those Ephemeras look cool too, right? Those Ephemeras look really cool. They're gonna take Fashion Frame to a whole new level if they all look as hot as these ones do. And obviously, I said it before on the last Devstream, Ember Deluxe still looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna pick that one up like on day one. That's way too good looking of his skin to not pick up. Love it.
We do have a date for Dog Days coming back. So we're going to kick off summer with Dog Days on all platforms starting June 7th to the 21st. And yes, this is where you'll be able to get the Soaktron rifle skin. So Nakak will be offering a new reward in addition to all the old rewards. So the Dog Days tactical alert is returning. You'll be able to get everything that you could ever want there. And Volt was throwing on his bathing suit for this one. So.
I usually pronounce that Nakak, but that's cool. You can have your own pronunciation.
I said Nakak. Did I not?
I heard it too. I noticed.
It was a little on the aw. What do you call that? A soft A or a hard A? I don't know.
All right. And also, so that's coming on June 7th to 21st, all platforms. Can we have the tube? You can. When you play the alert, you have the tube on, so you can enjoy that.
Yeah, it's so cool. I think they're saying, can we get the tube?
Oh, like as a cosmetic that you can wear, like a sigil, but...
Add it to do.
Bunny ears.
Let's look into that, because that is super hilarious.
Tube, okay.
I want to see Grendel in the tube.
Ooh, do you think it has?
We might have to do some scaling. Yeah,
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Yay, Dog Days returning. Now, like, if you've already done it previous years, then, there's not that much new to hunt from in the Dog Days store. You just kind of want to just clean it out and be done with it. You got to play some Dog Days for that. But now there's a new thing, right? The rifle skin, which is the Super Soaker rifle, which is fun and all that. But if you haven't done Dog Days, the Summer Fun Super Splash Water Super Soaker event, one thing that's probably relevant to your interests is that you can play it for a bunch of times, and you will get the Beach color palette, which is kind of nice because it is one of the color palettes that actually has true white. Like actual white, brightest white possible. So it's a pretty good color palette otherwise. It's got some yellows, it's got some turquoises and whatnot, and it's got the whites. So that is something you can get from Dog Days, which I know people dig when it comes around. And there's some other stuff too. You just gotta super soak a bunch of Grenier over and over and over again and get all the rewards. And now a super soaker skin for your rifle as well. And you buy it from Nakak's store in Cetus. Nothing else. Alright, that's the news for right now. Like I said, there's not a whole lot new. They had a couple of new guns to show off, which is rad. And I kind of like how they've done like the final boss encounter for the Liches, that you do that as like a railjack mission where you invade their home turf and all of that jazz, which is cool. Not impressed with rank 10 command. I don't think anyone is. I think that's a bit of a whiff. But yeah, Sisters of Parvos, it's going to come sometime in June, before TennoCon, and then at TennoCon, it feels like whatever is going to drop is going to be New War. They're finally going to like really dig into the New War now. And like Steve said, just delivering on past promises. So, hey, that's something to look forward to. But that's about it. That's the last dev stream that we're gonna get before TennoCon. But we are gonna get sometime in June a dev workshop about buffs and nerfs for weapons. Buffs to primary weapons, nerfs to melee weapons. Very interested in that. I like it. I feel like it's probably good for the game. If primary weapons and melee weapons like get a bit closer to each other so that they're on equal footing in power level, so that you have a reason to use both. It just comes down to preference, how you want to play the game. Because currently, if you want to do the really, really hard stuff, you use your melee weapon because it's just better. Your melee weapon is just better than your primary weapon, and that's not good. It's not supposed to be like that. So, hey, we'll find out more about that in, 2 or 3 weeks or so. And I'm going to cover that too and give my thoughts about it. So thank you for watching this little recap, and I'll see you again tomorrow for something completely different.